The second place, Auburn 63-62, lost to Florida takeout. There were no last-second road heroics for Auburn. Not this time, at least. Auburn escaped with last-second baskets at Missouri and at Georgia earlier this season, but Saturday afternoon in Gainesville, FLA, the second-ranked Tigers couldn't come up with the late score they so desperately needed, and it resulted in their first regulation loss of the season, as well as their 14th straight setback on the road against Florida. Read more Auburn hoops. Rewinding Auburn 63-62 loss to Florida. Tigers tabbed as number 2 overall seed in early NCAA Tournament bracket reveal. Goodman, Jabari Smith unlocking historic fun for Auburn. Auburn lost to Florida, 63-62, Saturday after failing to get a shot off in the game's waning seconds. The Tigers used a late flurry to claw back from a 7-point deficit in the final 2 minutes, and they had the ball down 1 with 7.5 seconds to play. But out of a timeout, Auburn couldn't cleanly execute the play drawn up by Bruce Pearl, as guard Wendell Green Jr. was crowded at the top of the key and then threw the ball away while attempting to find Walker Kessler under the rim as the clock expired. I probably should have called timeout once I saw Florida back off, Pearl said. I was thinking they were going to overplay. If they overplayed Wendell, we were going to throw the ball to Walker, hand it off to Wendell and let him get downhill. But they kept everything in front, and yet, still, Wendell in the middle of the floor, Walker rolling to the rim, shooters spread out. If we complete that last play and Walker catches it and dunks it, then I look like a genius. Auburn was unable to complete the play, though, and now its lead in the SEC race is down to 1 game with 4 to play, as its margin for error dissipated after another struggling performance on the road against Florida. The Tigers have not won in Gainesville since 1996, and while this was their closest performance against the Gators during that stretch, it's hardly a consolation prize for Pearl and his team. We didn't play well enough to win, Pearl said. Give Florida credit, they made really big shots at the end. Our kids really battled. I thought we played hard defensively. I thought we did a lot of good things on the defensive end, but we struggled on the offensive end. Here are AL.com's key takeaways from Auburn's second straight road loss. Jabari Smith continues to show he's the real deal. Coming off a career-high 31 points on Wednesday against Vanderbilt, Jabari Smith took his show on the road for an encore. The freshman phenom and potential number 1 overall NBA draft pick delivered a 28-point performance at Florida that kept Auburn afloat for much of the afternoon. He shot 7 of 16 from the floor but connected on 4 of his 5 three-point attempts and knocked down 10 of 11 from the free throw line. He also added 7 rebounds and a block in a team-high 33 minutes. It's the second time this season Smith has turned in back-to-back games with at least 20 points, with the other instance coming against Syracuse and early in non-conference play. We're best when everybody contributes, and we relied too much on Jabari tonight. Not that it wasn't smart continuing to go to him because he was able to make plays, Pearl said, but we're best when everybody contributes. That wasn't the case tonight. Over his last 2 games, Smith has connected on 11 of 15 three-point attempts, including makes on 11 of his last 13. After scoring 8 points in the first half against Florida, when Auburn trailed 22-21 at halftime, Smith came out with a vengeance out of the break. He scored 10 of Auburn's first 12 points of the half, including a personal 8-0 run that was part of an overall 10-0 for the Tigers as they claimed their first lead of the game early in the second half. He put Auburn ahead for the first time all afternoon on a layup with 18:14 to go, and he added a free throw to complete the 3-point play. That began his 8-0 run, as Auburn built a 7-point advantage early in the second half. He later tied the game at 48-48 with a pair of free throws inside 6 minutes to play, while a trio of free throws with 1:30 to play sparked Auburn's late push after falling behind by 7 in the final 2 minutes. Then, with Florida trying to inbound the ball with 9 seconds to play and a 1-point lead, Smith tipped away the pass to help Auburn come up with a steal, setting up the final chance at a win on the road. I just saw that everybody else was covered and the play was to get it into Castleton, Smith said. I seen them throw a jump ball, so I just fought to try to tip it away and give my team another chance. Guards struggle on the road. Auburn's guard play wasn't up to standard in this one, as the Tigers' backcourt struggled against the Gators. Auburn's 3 primary guards, Zep Jasper, K.D. Johnson, and Wendell Green Jr., combined for 17 points on 5 of 19 shooting, including a 0 of 8 clip from 3-point range. They also accounted for 8 of the team's 17 turnovers while dishing out just 7 assists. 7 of those turnovers from the backcourt came in the first half, when Johnson turned it over 4 times and Green 3 times, as the two scored a combined 4 points in a difficult first half offensively or the Tigers. Yeah, it was bad, Pearl said of the turnovers. I mean, we just didn't pass it very well. Sloppy. We didn't execute. And if we don't execute in our half-court offense better, it'll just limit how far we can go. You know, just too many balls thrown out of bounds. Just crazy stuff. You've got to be able to take care of the basketball. Auburn shot just 33% in the first half and never led while turning the ball over 9 times, though Florida did not get any points off those first half turnovers. The Tigers closed the half on a 7-0 run to get within 1 at the break. It wasn't all bad for Auburn's backcourt, though. Johnson finished with 12 points, including the team's final 4 in the last 125 of the game to get within 1. Green had 5 assists, and his only 2 baskets of the game both extended Auburn's lead to 8 midway through the second half. Still, it was an inconsistent overall afternoon for the guards, highlighted by Green's inability to get off a shot or a clean inlet pass to Kessler on the final possession. The play was to get Wynn downhill, Smith said. They covered it pretty well. We got an attempt to get it to him, but it just didn't work out. Auburn's defense falters late. Auburn's defense has carried it through some tough times this season, and it has come up large on the road on multiple occasions. As Pearl likes to say, defense travel. The defense did its part early against Florida, holding the Gators to 22 first-half points and just 25.9% shooting heading into halftime. The stalwart defensive effort, which included forcing 5 turnovers and limiting Florida to 3 of 12 shooting from beyond the arc, kept Auburn afloat during a difficult offensive first half. Down the stretch, though, things largely fell apart for Auburn on that end of the court. Florida closed the game making 10 of its final 13 shots, including 5 of its last 6 attempts from three-point range. I feel we didn't change anything, Smith said. I feel like they just made some tough shots late in the last little 4 to 6 minutes. They made some real tough shots. We just kept trying to defend, rebound. They're a good team. They just made tough shots down the stretch. During that stretch, the Gators made some difficult and well-defended shots, but they also got some good looks against the Tigers, whose 8-point lead evaporated during the final 11-plus minutes of action. That hot shooting effort began with a jumper by Colin Castleton that cut Auburn's lead to 6 with 11:18 to play. Castleton finished with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks, while Tyree Appleby had a team-high 26, including 20 in the second half. The Gators erased the deficit and surged ahead with 7:36 to play. While Auburn tied it at 48-48 on Smith's free throws with 5:53 to go, the Tigers never regained the lead the rest of the afternoon. Our second-half defense wasn't as good as the first-half defense, Pearl said. Tom Green is an Auburn beat reporter for Alabama Media Group. Follow him on Twitter at Tomas_Verde.